Hey there, fellow geniuses. Welcome back to ADHD Genius. Today, I want to share with you a very personal story about my childhood growing up with ADHD and how it led me to become the person that I am today. I'm here to be honest and vulnerable, and I hope that by sharing my journey, I can help you guys feel less alone. So let's dive in. Growing up, I thought my life was normal. I had two parents who loved me, or so I thought. But little did I know, the trauma and abuse I experienced would shape me into the person I am today. When I was 6 years old, I was diagnosed with attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, or ADHD. My parents, who were strong believers in Christ, enrolled me in Oakland Christian School, hoping to provide a solid foundation for my education and spiritual growth. But then everything changed. My parents got divorced when I was in the 4th grade, and I had to switch schools. I was devastated. It felt like my whole life had been turned upside down. I had to leave my best friend Emma behind, and Emma and I had been inseparable since kindergarten. She was the only friend I had because making friends was always hard for me. I felt so alone at my new school. I struggled to make new friends and adjust to the new environment. I remember feeling like I was always on the outside looking in, like I was stuck in this never-ending state of loneliness. In 5th grade, I started getting pulled out of my normal class and put into special education classes because of my struggles in math. I felt like I was being shamed for something that wasn't even my fault. And I remember feeling so stupid because I couldn't seem to get math right. I would get these weird looks from my teachers, and I just didn't understand why I couldn't be good at it like everyone else. It was like, why can't I just be normal for once? And then things went from bad to even worse when I was in 6th grade. My mom started physically and mentally abusing me. It was a really dark time in my life. I remember feeling so lost, alone, and scared all the time. And it's not something I usually like to talk about, but it's a part of my story. And there was one person who noticed something was wrong. My teacher, Miss Ormsby. She saw the marks on my neck and asked me about it. And that's when everything changed. The court stepped in and they took me away from my biological mother's custody. They took away my biological mother's custody. My dad got full custody of me, and we started fresh. Throughout middle school, I was ashamed of my ADHD and dyscalculia because of past experiences where I was pulled out of class for special education sessions. It made me feel like there was something wrong with me, like I was stupid and helpless. So I started masking my ADHD. I became a master of pretending to be someone I wasn't. I'd sit still in class, pretend to listen, and even mastered the art of faking it until I made it. I masked my ADHD for years. I took notes in class, studied hard, and tried to stay on top of things. But this came at a cost. I felt like I was living a lie, and there was two versions of myself. The normal version of myself that everyone saw on the outside, and the real version of myself that struggles to keep up in everyday life. Inside, the real Michaela was worn out, overwhelmed, and exhausted. As I grew older, the struggle to mask my ADHD only got harder. I would get overwhelmed by the simplest tasks, and my anxiety would spiral out of control. It was like I was drowning in a sea of responsibilities, and I didn't know how to swim. But the hardest part was feeling trapped by my own shame and guilt. I felt like I was a failure because I couldn't fit into the normal mold. It was so exhausting, and it affected every aspect of my life. Masking my ADHD took a massive toll on my mental health. Anxiety, depression, self-doubt crept in, but eventually I realized that it was okay not to be perfect, and it's okay to ask for help and be vulnerable with others. And one day, something just clicked inside me, and I realized that trying to fit in wasn't worth sacrificing my mental health. And I realized that having ADHD and dyscalculia didn't define who I am as a person. They were just a part of who I am, this small part. And honestly, they've made me the person that I am today. It took me a while to learn to love myself for who I am, ADHD and all. But once I did, everything changed. I started to see that my strengths outweighed my weaknesses. My creativity, my energy, and my adaptability, these are all things that make me unique and valuable. So if you're out there watching this and feeling like you don't fit into the normal mold, don't worry, you're not alone. Embrace your differences and know that you are capable of achieving amazing things. Thanks for joining me on this journey today. Remember that your struggles don't define you. They're just a part of your story. Keep being you and never give up on yourself. And that's it for today's video. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.